one of the fears that I've heard from the US government itself is that because we can't track it, we don't trust it. The fear tends to be, well, US government, why do you want to track my money? It's none of your damn business. And you probably want to track it because you just want to charge me more taxes on it anyway. Are any of these statements fear, or are they actually concerns that could be true?
Both. All of them.
Okay. All right.
Both. Yeah, seriously. The reason, because I've seen this off and on for the last couple of years, is I think it's senators and Congress people from both sides of the aisle. Critical thinking had another comment. You might want to check out Odyssey and use YouTube as a messenger service to alert followers to join live stream or post. YouTube is going south. I will check that out. I've never heard of Odyssey.
Yeah, make a note of that. Let's both check it out.
Yeah, I'll actually. Yeah, thank you for that. ODYSE. Okay. Yeah, we'll got it in my other channel. So you are correct.
Okay.
The reason that's correct and it's fear and it's true is because I've seen senators, Congress people in the U.S. and frankly worldwide, I've seen this worldwide, is they can't track the money, so they're worried that a lot of fraud is happening with that. And then they prove out these stats that they show a lot of fraud is happening. What is the fraud that's happening that they allege is happening? People are transacting and stuff, they're not paying taxes, which directly affects the governments. And again, that's another fear that they have, is that people are going to do these transactions, not pay taxes on them like they do. Let's say you go to Walmart or something, you have to pay sales tax. That goes to sales tax in Florida, I think is 7% on transactions. And it goes to things like funding schools, firemen, police, stuff like, at least that's where it's supposed to go. I don't know where it actually goes.
Okay, but Jason, I'm sorry to step on you here, but I don't want to forget this. So isn't it up to the vendor, though, to collect the taxes? Like if they're accepting Bitcoin as a transaction, wouldn't it be on them to add the tax rate to that price?
Yes, it would be. But because the U.S. government and governments worldwide cannot track those because they don't have access to the database, they don't have access to the direct names, they couldn't go after somebody, for example, who was a tax fraud and didn't pay their taxes because they wouldn't have the direct name of the person who bought. Let's say they bought a Lamborghini, paid $1 million for a Lamborghini. The government would want their taxes on that, and they couldn't track that because they wouldn't have the identity. They'd have the what is the PIN number, or the number, the ID
VIN number. Yeah,
VIN number for the transaction.
Okay, and then another tax question. If I were to take money out of Bitcoin, I haven't done it. I leave it in there. It was only $100 and now it's up to 400, 500. I don't even know what it is today. All right, but if I were to take it back out, do I have to pay income taxes on that?
You're supposed to, yes. I think there are some limits on the transaction size, but to my knowledge, again, I'm not a tax expert, if you've owned any asset for less than 1 year, you pay what's called a short-term capital gains tax if you have a gain on it.
Okay.
If you've owned it for longer than a year, you pay what's called a long-term capital gain tax, and that's typically lower. I think it's short-term capital gains tax is something like 30% now, and it's the long-term is 15%, I think, but it keeps changing all the time. So you pay a lower tax rate, but you still, again, technically should pay taxes on it if it's over a certain amount. I think it has to be over a certain amount to pay tax on it.
Okay, and say it was over that certain amount, but I don't take it out yet. It's just sitting in Coinbase. It's just sitting there as cryptocurrency. I don't owe taxes on it at that point. It's only when I actually transact it, right? Only when I actually convert it and pull it out.
I think as soon as you sell it.
Okay.
That next year or whatever, you're supposed to pay taxes on it. Again, if it's over a certain amount.
Okay, that's going to bring me to a whole nother slew of questions. Let's make sure we don't have any new comments. Because I get a lot of curiosity about cryptocurrency because I'm thinking about putting more money into it, to be honest with you. I just really want to talk through this. So when I sell, then of course it'll be, if it's a certain amount, if it's capital gains thing, then I'll have to pay the taxes on that. Okay. I get that. Now, what if no, here's my question. This might get a little complicated. I've already paid taxes on this US money that I put into cryptocurrency. I got it somehow. I either got it through my business or I got it through somebody gave it to me. But in theory, though, I've paid taxes on this money. So how can I be taxed again?
That is a fantastic question that I do not have an answer to.
Okay, fair enough. Totally fair.
Because it's the same thing. Like, let's say you took that $100 and you bought a stock.
Right.
You've held it for however long you've held it, and you sell that stock, and it's a long-term capital gains tax. You already paid money on the front end on the money that you earned. Then you have to pay again when you sell and you have a gain. So it's the same thing.
Okay, so some things never change. Taxes are taxes.
Yep. Death and taxes. Death and taxes are the only truth. What is the saying? The death and taxes are the only certainties in life.
That's correct.
That's what the saying is.
Yeah. All right. So I didn't like what I was seeing when Bitcoin was going down.